This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
It's the Noon Report from Family Life, bringing a Christian worldview to what's happening in New York, Pennsylvania, across the country, and around the world. Weather with Kevin Williams, plus special features and reports with the Family Life News team. Now, here's what's happening.
Wind-whipped winter weather wreaking havoc. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Webster.
Our wind generator is an area of low pressure now in the Canadian Maritimes. It'll continue to produce a blustery pattern this afternoon into tonight, and lake snows will continue to fly.
That's meteorologist Kevin Williams. His forecast is coming up. Still more than 30,000 folks across New York and Pennsylvania without power, while wind-blown snow starting to pile up in lake effect areas. CBS's Ian Lee in Syracuse.
Hurricane-force winds whipping across western New York with gusts up to 79 miles per hour, approaching the all-time record in Buffalo. Sentries falling onto homes and blocking streets. The powerful storm created massive waves crashing ashore off of Lake Erie.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul tells Spectrum News she's thankful for the crews out there clearing roads and fixing down lines.
They are everywhere, and I'm so proud of our Thruway crews and our state crews, our state DOT crews, and they don't go home during this. They've been so involved, and what's also important, we have almost 7,000 utility workers across the state ready to get that power back on, as we know how dangerous that can be, how frightening it can be if you don't have your lights on or your heat on, and so we're trying to hopefully keep that to a minimum.
Buffalo Skyway still closed due to the winds. There are several other driving restrictions spread across New York and PA. The best way to keep updated on those is 511ny.org or 511pa.com. Now, if you're flying, definitely check to see if your flight's delayed or canceled. The weather impacted thousands of flights yesterday. These folks in Detroit were hoping for the best.
I hope we planned it well.
Yes.
As long as we get back. If we get stuck there, I don't mind, but I just want to get out of here on time.
Yeah, so far today, over 2,000 flight delays or cancellations across the U.S. And it wasn't just wintry weather to contend with on Monday. Severe thunderstorms and tornadoes in Illinois. One twister touchdown in Long Creek, Illinois, scaring this man. He told CBS.
In that front room, if we'd been there when the storm came through, the front room's covered in shattered glass and debris that blew through that front window. So it would have been bad. At
least 9 homes damaged in that severe weather outbreak, though no serious injuries reported. All right, elsewhere in our world, the U.S. ratchets up its assault on suspected Venezuelan drug export operations. President Trump confirms that for the first time, the U.S. has hit a target inside that country.
They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area.
There are reports the CIA carried out that drone strike, but Trump isn't telling.
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was.
Pentagon's also confirmed a strike on a suspected drug-running boat in the eastern Pacific. Next to the Middle East, where doubts remain over advancing the fragile peace in Gaza and beyond. Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday, who says he agrees with Trump that the Palestinian Authority should not be involved unless they change their tune.
Real reforms, not just perfunctory reforms, but real reforms. Stop pay to slay, change the curriculum in your textbooks, open up a different society and a different future.
Trump again warned Hamas leaders to disarm or else. Also warned the U.S. will go after Iran if that country tries to build up a missile stockpile and reestablish its nuclear program. He says he would support Israeli military operations in Iran. The day before, Trump met with Ukraine's President Zelensky on efforts to broker an agreement between him and Russian President Putin. Putin is accusing Ukraine of trying to attack his personal residence, an allegation Zelensky denies. In a Fox interview, Zelensky was asked about a Putin comment that he wants Ukraine to succeed despite invading the country.
You don't agree with that?
No, it's not about agree. I don't trust Russians, and they don't want. I don't trust Putin, and he doesn't want success for Ukraine.
Hours before he met with Zelensky on Sunday, Trump said he had a very productive phone call with Putin, which lasted over 2 hours. Starting next week, student loan borrowers who are in default will learn their wages could be garnished. The U.S. Department of Education will send out notices to about 1,000 borrowers the week of January 7th, warning that money could be taken directly out of their paychecks. Those affected will get 30 days' notice before wage garnishment begins. A hearing today for the man accused of planting pipe bombs in Washington, D.C. on the eve of the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot.
It's going to be a detention hearing for Brian Cole. Prosecutors have to argue why Cole needs to be held in jail pre-trial. They've already argued that he confessed to being the Capitol Hill pipe bomber, that he did so out of anger or frustration with both political parties.
That's CBS's Scott McFarland. Staying in the courts, the man prosecutors say fatally shot one National Guard soldier and wounded another in D.C. was in federal court yesterday. That suspect, an Afghan national who worked with the U.S. against the Taliban, is facing 5 charges, including first-degree premeditated murder for last month's shooting. An investigation widening into alleged multi-billion-dollar fraud in Minnesota, much of it linked to the Somali immigrant community there.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says they've been looking into these allegations of fraud for months, and they expect more prosecutions will be coming. So far, she says 98 people have been charged, 85 of whom are of Somali descent.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Influenza activity surging nationwide amid holiday gatherings and travel. The CDC says there have been at least 4.6 million confirmed cases so far this flu season, 49,000 hospitalizations, and nearly 2,000 deaths, most linked to a mutant strain of H3N2, which is part of the influenza A family. The CDC says that activity is very high right now in New York State. Well, here's a topic near and dear to us in the newsroom: proper pronunciation. Case in point, the name of the Big Apple's next mayor giving a lot of folks big problems.
According to the language learning platform Babbel, people have a tough time saying the Mamdani part of Zoran Mamdani's name. These New Yorkers prove that to be true.
Mamdani, Mandami. Is that how you say his name? Mandami? Mandami.
Front runner, Mondoni.
Another mispronounced word that even President Trump butchered earlier this year is
well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen.
He got it that time. I'm Natalie Migliori.
All right, still to come on the Noon Report. Yeah, it was windy, but just how windy? We'll take a look. A historic Pennsylvania clock ticking away again. And later, what do you think were the big news stories of 2025? We've got a powerful sound montage that might help you decide.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Williams, tracking lake effect snowflakes in the area today. I'll have the latest forecast coming up in 10.
Thank you, Kevin. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A gusty afternoon today, but wow, was it windy yesterday in parts of the listening area. National Weather Service says the numbers were almost historic. A 79-mile-an-hour wind gust clocked at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport, just 3 miles an hour shy of the record. And monster 27-foot waves on Lake Erie, 32-footers on the open waters of Lake Ontario. Jason Pappenheim is a storm chaser who recorded the waves from the safety of the shoreline.
Oh, huge! They're getting big! They're getting big! Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, it was a wow. Another interesting phenomenon to note, the Lake Erie Seiche. That's when strong winds push the waters from western Lake Erie eastward, much like sloshing a tub of water. That resulted in a water level that was 13.5 feet higher in Buffalo than it was in Toledo, Ohio. Monday's fierce winds left plenty of downed trees and power lines in their wake as well. This Rochester man tells WROC he saw one neighbor's tree bite the dust in a big gust.
10 minutes to 11. I could sit in the back room and look across the street, and I heard a crack, and all of a sudden, here it is, comes across the street, hits the pavement. What a noise. It's pretty incredible.
Tumbling trees and limbs left tens of thousands of New York and Pennsylvania residents in the dark. There are still hundreds of utility crews crisscrossing the area trying to patch things back together. While Monday's strong icy winds sent a lot of things flying into the air, it had the opposite effect at area airports. Many flights grounded by the harsh conditions. This would-be traveler stuck at the Buffalo airport telling WGRZ.
Boarded, pulled back, said we have to go through de-icing. De-icing is set up. They were plowing the runways, so the runways were in good shape. But the winds were gusting, and they can't put the de-icing material on the wings at wind speeds over 40 miles an hour, and it just wouldn't drop below 40.
A majority of scheduled departures out of Buffalo yesterday wound up being canceled. The blast of wintry weather also not helping efforts to repair a broken water main that's left some Syracuse area residents drier than usual. Onondaga County officials say the weather is likely going to further delay repairs to a main which serves several communities in eastern Onondaga County until at least mid-January. Communities including Manlius and DeWitt remain under a water conservation mandate. New York veterans who are disabled as a result of their service may see significant tax relief in the new year. We get the story from Family Life's Sarah Harnish.
New legislation signed into law by Governor Hochul states any veteran living in New York with a 100% service-connected disability can now receive a complete property tax exemption on their primary residence. The property must be owned by either the vet or their spouse. The law takes effect immediately and will apply to assessments prepared after January 2nd, 2026. Sarah Harnish, Family Life News.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Getting tough on thruway toll violators. New York State Police say a recent crackdown on a stretch of I-90, including Syracuse and Albany, resulted in 170 vehicles being seized, more than 1,000 tickets issued. The enforcement effort focused on drivers trying to evade toll readers using so-called ghost plates, defaced plates, or missing license plates altogether. The state says the measure aimed to counter a nationwide rise in such theft. The man behind one of the Niagara Frontier's most popular tourist attractions has died. That story from Family Life's Dee Haley.
Maid of the Mist officials have announced that longtime chairman and CEO James Glynn passed away on December 28th at 91 years old. James Glynn started with the iconic tourist attraction as a ticket seller in the 1950s, buying the company in 1971. It was under his leadership that the Maid of the Mist expanded operations. Glynn's charitable reach extended to the Francis Center in Niagara Falls and Olvie Charities in Lackawanna. Dee Haley, Family Life News.
Thank you very much, Dee. The man scheduled to be the next mayor of a small Pennsylvania borough has been arrested. Sean Packard, mayor-elect in Bradford County's Canton Borough, is facing several charges, including criminal trespass, invasion of privacy, disorderly conduct, all related to clashes with a neighbor over the past several months. Police say among the incidents was Packard allegedly flying a drone at a neighbor's window. A preliminary hearing scheduled for January 2nd. It's unclear how those charges might impact Packard actually taking office. Grant funding will allow the clocks to tick a bit longer in Lancaster, PA. Family Life's Brian Query explains.
The clock is ticking for a Lancaster County, Pennsylvania museum to replace its failing HVAC system. It can get up to 100 degrees on a hot day at the National Watch and Clock Museum in Columbia, and those conditions threaten the 13,000 watches and clocks there. The museum's air-cooled chiller, heat exchanger, and chilled water pumps are counting down their days. And now, thanks to new grant money, the museum is undergoing a project to replace those aging units. It's an important measure for the museum to keep preserving mechanical items made from brass and steel. The museum boasts the largest collection of antique and modern clocks and watches in North America. Brian Query, Family Life News.
Thank you, Brian. Another timely story from the Commonwealth. A historic Pennsylvania clock is once again marking the time for residents of Hazleton. The large analog street clock hasn't worked since 2016, but has now been restored to its former glory. Hazleton Art League director Mark Peterson tells WNEP that having that historic clock working again in time for the new year is perfect timing.
Everybody is thinking about the passage of time and how we're moving forward. I think having the clock being restored is just one more step in the revitalization of downtown Hazleton.
That fancy clock faces the home of the Art League. And a Pennsylvania mall back in business. Luzerne County's Wyoming Valley Mall had been shut since a power outage struck on Christmas Eve. With repairs finally completed, the mall opened its doors again on Monday morning, the second power-related closure of that mall this year. A July outage kept it closed for nearly 2 weeks. Well, staying up for the end of Monday Night Football proved to be worth it. Here's Randy with sports.
It looked like a blowout, Mark, and then it turned into a nail-biter. Good afternoon, I'm Randy Snavely. The Atlanta Falcons were rolling over the favored Los Angeles Rams, building a 3-touchdown lead, but then the Rams came storming back and they tied the game. But Zane Gonzalez booted a 50-yard field goal with 21 seconds left, and that gave the Falcons a 27-24 victory. Running back Bijan Robinson, spectacular for Atlanta. rushing for a career-high 195 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns, one on a pass reception and one on a 93-yard run. Let's go to hockey. 9 in a row for the Buffalo Sabres. Zach Benson, Alex Tuck, Noah Ostlund all scored, and then Peyton Krebs added an empty netter, and Buffalo doubled up the Blues 4-2. Alex Lyon made 16 saves. Now this guy has started 7 of the games during the Sabres' 9-game surge, and his save percentage is a sparkling .919. The Rangers fell to the Canes 3-2. Jackson Blake scored for Carolina in overtime to give them the victory. Others skating to wins: the Blue Jackets, Panthers, Oilers, Avs, Predators, Flames, Wild, Sharks, and Canucks. On the hardwood, the Knicks got 28 points and 10 assists from Jalen Brunson and 23 points and 11 rebounds from OG Anunoby, and the New Yorkers outlasted the Pelicans 130-127. The Nets fell to Golden State 120-107. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the high scorer of the night, pouring in 39 to lead the Thunder to a 140-129 win over the Hawks. Also picking up wins, the Bucks, Suns, Heat, Raptors, T-Wolves, Rockets, Cavs, and Trailblazers. That is a look at sports.
Thank you, Randy. Still to come on the Noon Report, a year in 8 minutes. We'll bring you the sounds that defined 2025.
Welcome to Breakpoint, a daily look at an ever-changing culture through the lens of unchanging truth. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet. Artificial intelligence really began back in the 1950s with what was known then as machine learning. Over the past decade, and especially the past year, dreams about so-called machine learning became possibilities and actualities, and new dreams were born about both the benefits and dangers of artificial intelligence. Now, among the potential abuses of AI that we learned about this year was how mentally vulnerable users were manipulated into thinking that they're prophets and had access to the secrets of the universe. Rolling Stone told us chilling stories of spouses and parents who watched their loved ones lose touch with reality through AI. Kashmir Hill wrote in the New York Times about chatbots that lured users down conspiratorial rabbit holes, encouraging them to take drugs, assuring them they could fly, even egging some on to suicide. Oh yeah, and we also learned that Grok relied on Nazi sources for much of its intelligence. AI has also disrupted learning by normalizing cheating. The technology news site Futurism declared AI is destroying a generation of students. New York Magazine warned everyone's cheating their way through college. I know of at least one Christian college religion class in which there are no textbooks, and the professor actually encourages students to use AI to produce their assignments. New technologies always require humans to wrestle again with ultimate questions, not just what's right and wrong, but also what it means to be human and what the meaning of life is. You see, our work is vital as humans, not just as a way to love and serve our neighbors, but also as a fulfillment of the creation mandate, how God made us to be. The fall turned much of human work, of course, into what Scripture refers to as toil, frustrating and futile effort that's unnecessarily complicated and often falls short of our best intentions and can even be a source of great evil. Therefore, any technology that can alleviate futile, dangerous, and pointless work is a real blessing, a redemptive way of living in the world. However, our human activity cannot be measured only by narrow utilitarian means. Easier is just not always better. Knowledge cannot be reduced to mere data or data processing, and we do not always need to be, quote unquote, set free from effort or inefficient conversation. Sitting with an author, following an argument, experiencing a narrative, these things reflect the fullness, both of the truth, goodness, and beauty that God infused into the creation, and also who He made us to be in His image. In this new age of AI, we have to hone the kind of discernment for which Paul prayed for the church at Philippi, specifically for a love that abounds with knowledge and all discernment. That will allow us, he said, to approve what's excellent and be pure and blameless for the day of Christ. Remember, Paul also warned the Colossians, see to it no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ. Now, to be clear, AI gets its philosophy and its empty deceit from human tradition. So, Paul's prayers and his instructions for us, they've aged quite well. The mission of Breakpoint is to cultivate that kind of biblical discernment, to inform Christians and equip them with clarity and confidence in the truth. If Breakpoint has helped you make sense of this culture as a Christian, would you please consider making a year-end gift? Thanks to a generous $500,000 match, every gift before the end of the year will be effectively doubled. You can give today to support Breakpoint by visiting colsoncenter.org/December. That's colsoncenter.org/December. For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet with Breakpoint.
All right, that brings us to a check of weather with Kevin.
Good afternoon. Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Variable cloudiness with flurries, areas of heavy lake snow and blowing snow. General snow accumulations right on through tonight, an inch or less for most, but several more inches in the favorite snowbelt areas east of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. High this afternoon 20s, low tonight teens to near 20. Tomorrow on Thursday, flurries, additional areas of local lake effect snow. High temperatures tomorrow 20s. It'll be colder on Thursday, New Year's Day. High temperatures mid-teens to the lower 20s.
Thank you very much, Kevin. This is the Noon Report on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster. Thank you again for joining us. Well, up next, as we get ready to close the books on 2025, our own Bob Price has scoured sources far and wide to piece together a sound montage encapsulating the highs and lows of the year gone by, a year that had no shortage of both. We now present for your ears the year 2025.
Right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
The golden age of America begins right now.
The 39th President of the United States has died.
My name is Jimmy Carter and I'm running for president.
Crowds slowly returning to Bourbon Street for the first time since the tragic New Year's Day attack.
This is like nothing we've ever seen with multiple fires raging.
All of it gone. I mean, it's overwhelming.
It's truly an apocalyptic scene.
Over 1,000 homes burned in the Palisades.
Heartbreak in the nation's capital.
A passenger plane collided with a military helicopter.
The work has now shifted to a recovery mission. Sadly, there are no survivors.
For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
Elon Musk's Doge.
The Department of Government Efficiency.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
For all intents and purposes, Doge is done.
What's happened with Doge?
Doge is dead.
President Trump is threatening a massive increase in tariffs on China.
It's our declaration of economic independence.
Canada's not for sale and never will be for sale.
The tariff on Canada is a tax on Americans.
Some really fantastic news from out of this world.
Let's watch as Falcon 9 touches down.
A small step in the long journey to bring 2 astronauts home.
Can you rescue the astronauts? Yes, we're bringing them back in 2 weeks.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't have to play cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
Alex Ovechkin has done it. He surpasses the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Somber news from the Vatican. Pope Francis has died.
Habemus Papam.
Pope Leo XIV, that is the name?
Many people thought this extraordinary moment would never happen.
Well, he's our guy.
Yeah, it's true.
An American, now the leader of the world's Catholics for the first time.
Suspected terror attack in Boulder, Colorado.
The subject used a makeshift flamethrower.
Unrest in Los Angeles.
Violent confrontations between protesters and federal agents.
When ICE went in, they just took people away.
We are doing our targeted enforcement operations against criminal illegal aliens.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion.
Last night on the President's orders, U.S. Central Command executed Operation Midnight Hammer.
This was the right call at the right time.
We're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program.
Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated.
The Florida Panthers win their second consecutive Stanley Cup.
The Thunder have
taken the NBA by storm. For the first time, the NBA champion resides in Oklahoma City. The storybook season is complete.
It's a first for New York State.
The Medical Aid in Dying Act.
Death with dignity.
Assisted suicide.
Assisted suicide is not health care.
Arson at the Pennsylvania governor's residence.
Cody Balmer told police he was looking for Governor Josh Shapiro.
I think it's important in this time of rising political violence, none of us grow numb to it.
This is quite an American moment. Both parties are quite confident this photo op is going to be political nitroglycerin for them in 2026.
The one big, beautiful bill.
Deadly storms have swept across central Texas.
The devastating floods in the Hill Country.
The building was gone. It was fun. They were got washed away.
At Camp Mystic in Texas.
From Alaska, a high-stakes moment.
Vladimir Putin just now emerging from the plane there and coming down the stairs.
Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. No, I'll get a little heat on that one.
Sad news to pass along from baseball. Bob Uecker,
Just a bit outside.
one of the game's great personalities, died at the age of 90. Sad news out of the boxing world. George Foreman has passed away.
Cloud of suspicion surrounds the death of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman.
Figured it out yet? What's that? Who's best pilot?
Val Kilmer took on iconic roles from Iceman to Batman.
British rock star Ozzy Osbourne.
Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan.
Televangelist Jimmy Swaggart has died.
The founder of Focus on the Family, Dr. James Dobson.
I grew up listening to Dr. Dobson.
Dobson will be remembered as a champion for family values.
This just in, a well-known pastor in Southern California has passed away, John MacArthur.
Robert Redford was one of the greatest names in Hollywood.
Robert Redford is in more of my favorite movies than any other actor.
Breaking news out of Hollywood. Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton has died.
I believe you're looking at the next Vice President of the United States.
There had never been a vice president quite like Dick Cheney.
Active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event.
I'm still shaking. I love Charlie Kirk. He's awesome.
The manhunt continues for the person responsible.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
We have a name to tell you, Tyler Robinson.
The movement my husband built will not die. I refuse to let that happen.
It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
To beat the champ, you gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are only hours away from a government shutdown.
We're just simply trying to get the government open.
People are in crisis.
There's a better way to do this.
The government can reopen tomorrow.
Tonight, the breakthrough.
We're going to be opening up our country.
Democrats didn't get anything really from this deal.
We have ended the war in Gaza.
We're going to have to do a lot of work to make sure that it stays ended.
This is not only the end of a war, this is the historic dawn of a new Middle East. I am here with the mayor-elect of New York City, Zoran Mamdani.
New York, tonight you have delivered a mandate for change.
I have friends of mine in New York. They are officially depressed and scared.
We've got a socialist, anti-Semite, pro-Hamas guy as mayor of New York.
U.S. forces launched a precision strike against a vessel from Venezuela.
If you're working for a designated terrorist organization and you bring drugs to this country in a boat, we will find you and we will sink you.
And the person of the year for 2025, the architects of AI.
A new look at Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.
Hollywood mourning the loss of legendary film director Rob Reiner.
There is a stain on our soul. A Hanukkah event here at Bondi Beach. The father and son terror team targeting the Jewish community.
Charlie Kirk's martyrdom is igniting an undeniable Jesus revival.
On the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
an audio look back at 2025, courtesy of our Bob Price. That's also a preview of coming attractions. Tomorrow, during the noon hour, we invite you to join us again for a closer look at the most impactful events of the year, as judged by our entire Family Life News team. Please join us and compare notes as we tackle the top 5 stories of 2025. And a reminder that any of our Family Life original news features you hear during the Noon Report can also be heard online anytime at Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, or at FamilyLife.org. Just ahead on this lunch hour, we'll sink our teeth into one of America's favorite meat treats.
Bacon, bacon, where's the bacon? I smell bacon, 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 gotta be bacon. Only one thing smells like bacon, that's bacon!
Good afternoon. Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Our wind generator is an area of low pressure now in the Canadian Maritimes. It'll continue to produce a blustery pattern this afternoon into tonight, and lake snows will continue to fly. Our forecast for this afternoon and tonight: variable cloudiness with flurries, areas of heavy lake snow and blowing snow. General snow accumulations right on through tonight, an inch or less for most, but several more inches in the favorite snowbelt areas east of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. High this afternoon 20s, low tonight teens to near 20. Tomorrow, Thursday, flurries, additional areas of local lake effect snow. High temperatures tomorrow 20s. It'll be colder on Thursday, New Year's Day. High temperatures mid-teens to the lower 20s.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Finally at noon, some folks just can't get enough of it.
Every morning, I wake up and then I eat 5 strips of bacon. For lunch, I eat a bacon sandwich. And for a midday snack, bacon. Bacon.
Well, Burgess Meredith, happy National Bacon Day. It's one of the oldest processed meats, around for at least 3,000 years. The word bacon means back, which is where leaner European bacon comes from, but U.S. bacon's usually from fatter pork bellies. Americans eat about 18 pounds a year, and while that fat might not be the best for you, bacon does have some redeeming nutritional value, including amino acids. By the way, the phrase, bringing home the bacon, well, some say it's traced back to a 12th century English church, which awarded a side of bacon to any couple that could make it through their first year of marriage without quarreling. Not sure how many of those they managed to give away. That's the world we live in for Tuesday, December 30th, the penultimate day of the year. As always, we thank you for listening. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
You've been listening to the Noon Report, heard weekdays on Family Life. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.